Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Fort Knox Company, and this is going to be the site of our brand new home. So hey, like I said, this is going to be the site of our brand new home. You can see this whole thing right here behind me. This whole thing right here is our lot. It's going to be about half an acre. And if you haven't seen the other video showing the model that's very similar to this one, go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link in the video right here for it. But I'm going to walk you guys through our lot before the concrete is poured. We've been here since this whole thing that we're standing on was just desert. And I was able to see where all the utilities were. We were able to pick and choose where we wanted all of our plumbing and that kind of stuff. I got pictures and videos of where the plumbing is before they backfilled it, getting ready for the slab. But what I want to do is walk you guys through the pre-pour or before the concrete is here and kind of point out some stuff that we did and some things that you can look for in the future when they start to actually pour the concrete and then frame the house. So let's go. So here it is, guys. It is half an acre and our property line goes all the way pretty much to where you see that little black pipe coming out. You can see the grade difference where they dropped it down about 1.5 to 2 feet right here. So right here in the middle, you can see that's where the property line stops. So ours has about 1/4 of an acre here and then 1/4 of an acre where the house sits. So this is where we have future plans to do a detached garage or a detached casita or something else, or a large play area or something, but we wanted to keep the house tucked over to the left. That way we could really take advantage of this whole 4 acres. They do a 20-foot offset. So we have at least it ends up being about 22 feet from the driveway to the front of the house so we can park vehicles there. But after that, everything is behind the house, which is really nice because we don't really need much more than that in the front. If we have any other larger parked vehicles or boats or something like that that need to be outside, we'll be able to do that over here. But with this, just like the one that I was showing that is framed, the RV garage and the 2-car garage are on this side, and then the living or the other sides of the bedrooms and the courtyard is over here. So you can see them back there in the distance. They have a four houses being built in a community, and then this community has 8. This builder, Liberty Homes, really likes to do these 4 and 8 builds, but you can also have them build a house for you on a single lot. They do custom builds for everybody, but this is something that they do on their own, and they have their own developments that they do. So this is where the courtyard is coming in, and it's kind of hard to see here, but we'll be having a stubbed gas right there on the inside of the courtyard. What I mentioned in the other video showing you the one that was framed is that in this 2-car garage, normally they have a tandem. So this right-hand side goes back another 10, 15, I don't know, like 20 feet almost. They're getting ready to pour concrete, so they just got everything covered back up. But we're gonna have a walkthrough right here so we can still have access into our RV garage. You can see back there I did we added plumbing to the back of the RV garage. I want to be able to do a washout sink and all that kind of stuff. But the cool part is right here, we're going to have an entryway into the house. And as you walk into the house, you're going to come into what would be a laundry room. And then in this laundry room, we have the mud room, we have the powder room, and then this whole area right here behind the butler's pantry, that's why that plumbing is right there. We added this butler's pantry behind the kitchen. So when you walk into the kitchen, you have your island with your electrical coming up right there. We have our electrical coming up in the back wall and the plumbing. And then this walks into a whole separate room right here where the butler's pantry is. And then this whole area is actually like a little in-home gym. So we have electrical coming up in the living room, which again, I don't think they did that in the other house over there, but we wanted electrical to be accessible here in the living room. So if we have tables or chairs or something set up, that we have some option to plug in. This is our kitchen area. We do have electrical that comes up in the island, but right through here is kind of where the pantry was in the other house, and you can actually walk through to a butler's pantry, and then there'll be a door into a pantry. I know there's a lot of visualizing and stuff like that going on here because it's just pre-pour. There's no concrete, there's no framing, but I'll be posting more and more videos about how this thing is coming along and every step of the way. So like I said, I'm going to be posting videos about this every step of the way so you guys can kind of see the whole entire process and stuff that I paid attention to, and then the stuff that we did to kind of make it our own and really customize this this floor plan. There's a lot of really cool features that suited us, and if you ever build a home or you want to do any modifications, there's some really cool ideas you might get. But if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and that way you can follow along the whole process, and I'll be showing you how the house is built, how it's done from the ground up, all the stuff that we paid attention to during the build, even before they got to this point. There's a lot of stuff that we learned building this custom home, and you know, I just didn't know it at the time, so it was a learning process. And I've done some of my own builds before, but I've never done it like this where I'm kind of at the mercy of what they allow or don't allow. And luckily Liberty Homes is amazing, and they really make sure that you are informed on anything, and if you have questions, they answer them. So we learned a lot. So make sure you follow along if you're interested, and you can kind of see the stuff that we went through all the way until finish. So right now we're at the end of 2021, and we're about 5 months out from moving in and getting the keys. So let me show you guys one more thing back here in the backyard, which is really the main reason that we moved here, was for this private community, but also this land. So here we go. When you go out the back door and you come out here to that patio, like I showed you on the other model, you have this patio that runs most of the length here. We do have a grade right here that goes down, but they're going to be filling that up and then actually building the wall up. But right now they have to basically get all that reinforced, and they have like a waterproofing on the back of it. This will be built up. We have these great views of the city back there at night, and there's nobody building here right now. Liberty Homes is actually trying to acquire this to do another 4 houses, which would be really cool because it keeps the property values up and everybody's similar. But what's really cool is that we actually have about a 10 to 11 foot elevation off of the ground down there. So either way, even if they build another big RV garage, we're going to be able to see over it. These houses over here are a little bit higher, and this whole thing slopes down. So I know they're going to build this lower. But the cool part is this right here. We have over probably like 1/4 of an acre that we can play with. And when we were doing all the plans and setting exactly where we're going to set the house, I left 16 feet from that wall to the other side to where the property line is. So we actually have RV parking all the way along the side of the house right there that's private and put away. And the sun obviously comes here from the south. And all this was planned about how the sun would hit this side of the house. Doesn't really affect the living quarters as much as heating it up. The garage will take most of the sun. Anything that's on that side of the house gets a little protection from the house, from the sun. So for long-term storage or trailers, we can actually park it there and not even have to play with this over here. This has a large area behind the RV garage and the kitchen. And then all this will be able to come out, and we have about 35 feet to play with to be able to do like maybe a pool or something. We can do our play area for the kids. And then all the way back here to the corner, we have 56 feet from the edge of the garage all the way out to the property line. So even after you take away a couple feet for offset, you have at least 45 to 50 feet width-wise to play with here. And we plan on putting a casita or maybe a larger gym or some other type of like workshop for me to be able to build. And that way I can have a dedicated workshop, and we can store, you know, the toys or the vehicles over here. And then this whole area with a driveway will be able to be like a full workshop for us. So that'll be really cool. That's our dream. But first, we're gonna get this thing built and get it finished, but we already got plans for the future. So over here, we are gonna do that casita, like I said, but the other cool thing, which is really important about the building process, and this is some of the stuff that we thought ahead, is this right here is like a secondary flush out. They always give you a flush out by the RV for like your RV, you know, toys or any trailers. But I have a secondary flush out that I know is now about 25 inches below grade. And why that's important is because if I want to do any plumbing back here and I want to drain that out here or to the street eventually, if I didn't know or add this right here, I would be trenching all the way out to the street, probably cutting across my driveway, ripping up the driveway, and possibly ripping up the road just to try to get some plumbing back here. So what I did is I made sure that they had this dropped enough and that they added me another inlet, which this is just not going to be used until I'm ready. But I can actually run all of my drainage, my sinks, my plumbing through the ground down here, and I can tie right into that, and it runs through the house and all the way back out to the street. That's a huge, huge, huge thing and money savings in the future, not having to pay for all that excavation and all the repair of the driveway and stuff later. So there's a lot of math involved with it, but for a 3-inch drain pipe, you need about a 1/4 inch drop every foot. So I measured it's about 55 feet. So we need at least about 16 feet of drop, 15 to 16 inches between where we're at on the pad over the future casita to here. And we're well over 20. So that's really cool because then I can just trench right here on my property and have to do nothing in the road over there. They're also running an extra pipe at the extra 2 pipes over there by the electrical panel, again, right under and out. So when I can dig into it and tap into it, and they're also running another one off the water heater that goes through the slab and out. So I can tie water in and I can tie electrical in, and it's already pre-plumbed for it in my slab. That's a huge thing when building these houses. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys like the tour. It's really fun to be able to see these things from the ground up and be part of the process from the beginning. I can't believe that we're able to do this, and I was only able to do this from all the other builds that we did and the other houses that we had, and doing that DIY, like putting in that sweat equity. I can't emphasize that enough. The sweat equity really pays off, and that's what's allowing us to do this and still be able to kind of build it the way that we want, but I'm actually able to pay someone to build this for me. But I'll be able to build that casita myself, which I plan on doing. That's our dream, to be able to really develop this property. And again, that's going to put a lot more equity into this. And the properties around us have detached garage, and some of them have casitas. So I'll be building the casita and the workshop and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But for this, from the ground up, we'll be able to see it be built. So if you haven't already, hit like, hit subscribe, you know, check out my other videos. I'll put a link again to the other ones here, all the way through the process, and I'll talk about the whole custom building process and things that we learned in case you're thinking about building a custom home. I also do have the link for Liberty Homes down the bottom in case you want to check them out. They have like limited supply and they do builds all throughout the year, but again, if you have land or you want to buy land, they'll build on it for you too. So you should definitely check them out. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next build.